I was waiting for you to drop the bomb on the people like you dropped it on me, because you hit me with the 60s was a lie.
It was. The
That's
60s
what I want
was
you
a
to
lie.
tell the people.
Yeah, the 60s was a lie.
Because they may not be able to put together what
what I'm saying
laying
is
out, man.
that whole fucking thing,
that era,
that whole
the
era
hippie,
was planned, and it was
Woodstock,
right. It was all
free love,
right. It was all and the fashion, all the fashion came from an old ass man. He was already old as fuck at the time. His name was Vito, dog, and he had all these dancers, and he was like a fucking. Like just like a real free spirited type motherfucker, and he was like the first hippie, but they didn't call him hippies. You know, the dude was an old man, and he traveled with a bunch of chicks, and he had like these swinging orgies and all that shit. So he technically was kind of like the first hippie. You feel what I'm saying? And they danced up there on Laurel Canyon in all these little clubs and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they were the ones that got these clubs popping because there were no clubs back then, bro. There were no clubs up there on Sunset. That shit was long shut down and dead. That was long shut down and dead. There was nothing up there cracking like that. And you didn't come to LA for a music career like you do now. It was completely different.
Right.
You went to Memphis, you went to Nashville, and you went to New York. And then all of a sudden, in the 60s, LA was the hot spot. That area in particular. And all these clubs pop up. The Whiskey A Go-Go. Right, later on the Roxy.
We performed there.
Yeah,
we performed there.
Yeah. But these different places where there, this spot called the Trip, which we performed at Club Trip, but this is another
different
spot.
One?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But
because you know I was about to say.
Yeah, what's interesting is those guys that Vito and his, I think they were called Vito and the Freaks. Okay, they would go dance there. They had these weird dances, whatever the fuck. I don't know exactly what kind of dances, but that is what attracted people to those venues so that these kids could get their start, because how else were they going to get their start? How were people going to see them? No one gave a fuck about them, and there weren't any bands out here like that. And really, in particularly, dude, white bands. There were no white bands out here.
So they built that shit.
Exactly. And they made it, and they introduced the whole culture. So they're like, cool, the culture will be this. You dress like Vito, okay? And you listen to this music. All right. Now, the interesting thing is they represent peace, love, and happiness and all that shit, but all of them are far from it. You know what I mean? Like Frank Zappa literally shits on the culture. He's like, and people know it. Like he don't fuck with that. Like he's down with it and shit, and he promotes it, but and he scorns really. He's like, it's beneath me. You feel me? Because look where the fuck he comes from and what he is. And then David Crosby, the one with all the fucking connections and shit, bro. He's always strapped. He's admitted that he's blasted on somebody because he lost his temper. So if he blasted on somebody, I mean, he's blasted on people, plural, right? He's probably shot motherfuckers. He admitted this, bro. He said, I lost my temper and I've shot at someone before.
Because the music is prepared for them, right?
Yeah.
If everything else was prepared and this all was put together and orchestrated, so they have no attachment to that music.
So, what's crazy is he's the one, dude, that I told you, and this goes back to that prison industry fucking one that we did. But I remember I was like, dude, there's a video, I can't find it. And they said that it was David fucking Crosby said that the reason they call it a master copy is because they fucking summon the master demon into the copy and then fucking ship it out. So all the music is in there.
Yeah, damn it, man.
Kush and King Charles, the world's most dangerous podcast.